Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Karim Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose. Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers presents a new class to add to your Islamic lineup, calling the Muslims back to the Sunnah with the understanding of the companions. A new edition taught and broken down by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba. Tarbiyah, Brotherhood and Sisterhood in Islam. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, streaming on all major platforms, channel Sunnahfollowers.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everyone here to the class for today, which is our Aqidah class. And we will be continuing with the chapter on diluting wala wal bara. This is the chapter in which Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid goes into detail speaking about how Shaytaan, once Shaytaan realizes, and this is a reality a lot of Muslims ask me about, when Shaytaan realizes that he can't play his trick on you, when Shaytaan realizes that he cannot trick you and tempt you away from your purpose in life, then he will try to attack the other people in your families. And this is something that a lot of Muslims fail to understand. A lot of Muslims will ask me, Sister Laila, why is it that the apostasy rate is so high amongst Muslim children? You know, you raise your children to be Muslim, you teach them the Quran, you teach them the Sunnah, you send them to Islamic schools and all of that, but then once they become puberty, many of them just leave. They just apostate, or they just fail. If they don't apostate, they just fail to practice the religion completely. You know, well, this is how Shaytaan operates with us, guys. If you're strong in your faith and he can't take you down, he's going to try to get you through your children, through your wives, through your grandkids. This is what he did to the prophets, alayhi salam. Remember Prophet Noah, alayhi salam. He was strong in his faith. Shaytaan couldn't get him. So what did Shaytaan do? He attacked him through his children. He got his sons. The same thing that happened with most of the prophets. You look at them and see, you know, like Prophet Lot, alayhi salam. It was his wife, subhanallah. So this is just how it works, guys. The battle against Shaytaan, it begins at the age of puberty. Because remember, we talked about how when we are born, when Allah takes our soul and has it blown into the womb of your mother, the fitra attaches to the heart. And then we come into this world. We're innocent. We're coming to this world still believing in Allah, although we're not independent. We're dependent upon the parents to keep that fitra going. And then once you become puberty, that's when Allah attaches your personal jinn. And that personal jinn will do everything in his power to try to break you. And that's what we're going to speak about today. Today, we're going to speak about how the arena in the battle against Shaytaan, the arena switches from you to the family. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen so everyone can follow along. For those of you who are at home, I know a lot of you are celebrating the Eid, and may Allah, make this day special for you and your family. And, this is the second of the only 2 celebrations that we have. And I hope you guys are enjoying your day. I'm spending mine doing what I always do, teaching Islam. Okay, but anyway, for those of you who are at home, put me on the big screen TV so that the children can look and can see me better. And also, please take screenshots of this information that I'm presenting to you. So when I give you a quiz on this tomorrow, inshallah, you'll be able to do well. So let me put the PowerPoint up. Give me a second here. Yeah, and for those of you who do not have the book, you want to go to Amazon.com, and the book is entitled Diluting El Wala Wal Bara. It's written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. Please go there and buy this book, buy the whole trilogy, because this is the curriculum of Sunnah followers, and I will be teaching it over and over and over and over again. Okay? And so for the people here in my Zoom room, give me a second to open this up and share with you the PowerPoint. Yeah, I'm getting ready to, you'll see the pages when I post it up. Yeah, I did. I didn't, did I? Yeah, one of the sisters here is saying I didn't put the pages up on Facebook. I'm sorry. I apologize for that, for not putting. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to take this call. Hello? Excuse, I'm doing a class. What did he say?
Willoughby has the mic on hold for him.
Willoughby, I don't live nowhere. Tell him I have to call him back. I don't even know where if it's in Willoughby, his mama's got to get it. That's a 2-hour drive for me. I told him I ordered it from here where I live. That's a 2-hour drive for me. I live far from Willoughby. Okay, well, I'll talk later. I'm on the phone. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, can y'all see this on Zoom? Did I do it on Zoom right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, so it is on Zoom. Okay, because she distracted me. Okay, now let me put this on Facebook. Walla Wabara. Hold on. Okay, there. Now you guys can see it here. Yeah. My grandkids calling me. All right, hold on. Okay, now let me go to this. Okay, here we are. Okay, so today, yeah, I forgot to post the pages on Facebook. Okay. Hold on first. Let me make sure my cats are not outside. These dogs attacking. Hold on. Kaylee? Oh, okay. It's not my cat. Okay. My cats are in here. Okay, I thought I left my cat on the patio. All right. Okay. So tonight we're going to be covering pages 274 and 278. And we're going to, like I said, the arena, when Shaytaan realizes that your fitra is ignited and you're implementing allegiance, in your personal life and disassociation, when Shaytaan realizes that he can't get to you, what will he do? He will now then change the arena. It will shift to your children. And that's why so many of us women who are strong in our faith and we're practicing our deen, we have a hard time with our children. We raise them Muslim, but when they get puberty, they take on a whole new attitude because Shaytaan shifted the attention from you to them. So let's look to see what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid has to say about this. Okay, and by the way, there I am. Okay, is this showing up, guys? Can they see the PowerPoint on YouTube? Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Now, we have to understand as Muslims that Shaytaan, he's the orchestrator of falsehood. Remember, he swore an oath that he would take to the hellfire with him as many of us as he can. And Shaytaan, he wants to be worshiped. He wants to be Allah. He wants to actually be Allah himself. And just as Allah has a throne, guess what? Shaytaan is so arrogant that he has a throne too. And he positions his throne every day upon the surface of the water. Can y'all imagine that? That's how arrogant Shaytaan is. He will put his throne, he changes directions every day and put it on the surface of the water. And from there, he commands his soldiers amongst the jinn. He sends them out, and instructs them to destroy as many Muslim relationships as they can. And he promises them great rewards for doing so. He wants them to attack Muslims who are friends, Muslims who are married, Muslim families, and all of that. Subhanallah. And so a lot of people might ask, well, why is it that Shaytaan focuses on the family? Well, that's important. The family is the foundation of all of society. The family is the foundation of our survival, subhanallah. The family is where the foundations are laid. And because of this, it's very important. Shaytaan doesn't want to see a righteous woman and a righteous man together. He would rather see a righteous woman married to a loser because he knows she's not going to stay righteous. The woman will become what the man is. He'd rather see a righteous man married to a low-life woman or a non-Muslim woman because, again, he knows that she will strip him of whatever virtues he had. So this is why Shaytaan works to destroy your marriage. And then with the children are the future of Islam. So he takes pleasure in causing disruption within the homes. Because he's smart enough to know that destroy the family unit and then you destroy society. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He says, Shaytaan places his throne over the water and he sends out his soldiers. The closest to him in rank are the ones that causes the greatest tribulations. One of them will come and say, oh, Shaytaan, I have done this. And Shaytaan will say, oh, that's nothing. Then another one will say, well, I attacked a man and caused him to separate from his wife and divorce his wife. Shaytaan will then hug this person, hug this jinn, and tell this jinn, you did a good job. Okay, so here we can see, guys, Shaytaan, the family is the foundation of society. The children are the future of Islam. So this is why Shaytaan is going to come at you through your children if he can't get to you. And also, you see from this hadith that this is what Shaytaan has promised to do. And by situating his throne over the water, this shows how crazy he is and how he really wants to be worshiped. He really wants people to homage him. Okay? And again, he will reward the people who cause the most destruction with the best reward, then he'll leave them to themselves. And this applies within our Islamic communities too. Because remember, Shaytaan doesn't just have soldiers amongst the jinn. He has soldiers amongst humans too. When you go to the mosque, those brothers, those sisters, that's always stirring up trouble in the mosque. They want to argue with the imam. They want to debate the religion. These are awliya. These are soldiers of Shaytaan. And he will reward them. He will reward them for destroying a good community, but by making them, something that they want appear to come true, although he has no power to do that. But he'll puff that person up in his way to make that person think that person's rewarded. But then Shaytaan will leave that person to himself, and that person usually ends up destroyed. And you can see that throughout the history of Islam, and even today, for people who are were known troublemakers, for always stirring up trouble in the masjid, always arguing, debating. Look at those women now. Many of them have apostated because Shaytaan left them to themselves. Many of those women have had problems in their lives, miscarriages, couldn't keep a husband, lost their job, lost their property. So they end up, paying the price in a bad way. Okay, but just to let you know, this is why our families end up destroyed. And why is it that divorce is on a high scale today? Because we're weaker. The Muslims today in 2024 are weaker in faith than how they were during the time of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A lot of people say, oh, look at that brother and sister there. They've been married for 40 years. They were stronger. Remember, each generation becomes weaker and weaker and further away from the true belief. And the further and further away from implementing wala wa bara. So that's why divorce is on the rise today, because our aqidah is not good like it was 30 years ago. We were, like I told you guys the other day, we were stronger. I remember growing up as a kid in the 60s. We were stronger as a nation, in my opinion. We were stronger as a ummah in the 60s than we are today in 2024. My masjid, we were family. We were solid. Nowadays, the masjids are destroyed. We fight each other. We kill each other. Okay? Uh-oh, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. And this has been the case ever since Islam spread throughout the Arabian Peninsula. And this was also the case even before the Prophet Muhammad, because remember, all the prophets that Allah sent were Muslim, every single one. And all of them, their religion was Islam. And all the prophets of Allah called to the truth. And they had opposition, just like the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had to contend with the hypocrites. So did Moses, so did Jesus, so did all the others. And Allah tells us this in the Quran. For example, look at Fir'aun. He was an awliya, or soldier of Shaytaan. He exalted himself in the land, and he oppressed the people, and he oppressed the children of Israel too, killing their sons. Allah speaks about that in the Quran when he says, in the interpretation of the meaning, verily Fir'aun exalted himself in the land and made his people sects, weakening a group amongst them, killing their sons. This verse draws attention to the arrogance of Pharaoh. And as a result, he intentionally caused division amongst the people, creating sets and groups within the society, calling them away from worshiping Allah. And his oppressive actions led to subjugation, and it led to the weakening of the children of Israel, just like what we see happening today in a lot of these masjids. Brothers and sisters causing division, creating sets like we have today, these different sets, these different groups, oppressing each other. Okay? And then when Pharaoh went so far as to kill the male offspring, this was really an atrocity. Like I told you guys, genocide. That's always been the plan of the allies of Shaytaan. They want to wipe out Islam, wipe out the truth. Pharaoh, he wanted to wipe out Islam, wipe out the truth. Okay? Killing the firstborn. So again, this ongoing struggle between those who abuse power and inflict harm, has been going on since the beginning of time. Because again, Shaytaan made an oath. He swore an oath to Allah. When Allah condemned him to eternity in the hellfire, he swore an oath to Allah that he will take to the hellfire with him as many as he can. So this genocide's been going on. Okay? So now let's transition to today. Even today, like I said, we see this happening in our masjids, brothers dividing, separating, and to the point where you build a mosque next door to each other. You walk down the same street, you see two masjids on the same street. Division. This is what Shaytaan likes. This is what Shaytaan wants. And then when you look inside the homes, you see the children. The children, when they reach puberty, disrespecting their parents. The children, when they reach puberty, doing what they want to do. Why? Because the light, the fitra, has not been nourished properly. Now let's talk about this for a minute. A lot of you sisters will go to people like, I've heard a couple of sisters ask Sheikh Atlee. They would say, Sheikh Atlee, why is it that my children are disrespectful? Why is it, that my child is sneaking out the house at nighttime? What can I do? And Sheikh Atlee would ask, how old is the child? Oh, she's 12. And Sheikh Atlee would tell him, it's too late. You should have put the foundations of Islam in her heart when she was 6. Now you want to make her wear a hijab. Now you want to make your daughter pray. Now you want to make your sons come to the mosque. You should have had your sons coming to the mosque when they were 6. You should have had your daughters wearing hijab when they were 6. That fitra, the child is born innocent, believing in Allah, because our soul was taken from paradise and put in that womb. But that light is not going to remain there unless you nourish it. And that's the problem today. We don't nourish the light of our children's heart. We don't nourish the fitra because we're too busy engaged in this dunya, working, making money. That's why I tell my students here, and most of my students are female, it ain't about working. It's about finding you a husband that's going to provide and maintain you. And you stay at home and you raise your children. You go to school, get an education so you can be educated and you raise your kids. Now, there's exceptions such as doctors and nurses. But if you ain't going to school to be a doctor or a nurse, there's no need for you to be out in the workforce as a woman. You need to be at home, nurturing the fitra of your children, because that is the role of a woman. Y'all understand that? Women were not created to work, to hit a time clock. That's the man's job. So what you women are going to have to do when you're raising your children, you program your daughters that their role is to be at home, nurturing their fitra and the fitra of their children. You raise your daughters to be educated, but to marry men who are men who will work and provide and maintain them so they can stay home and nurture their children's fitra. Does everybody understand that? Whenever we neglect the fitra, that's when chaos, the children will grow up and chaos will come. Does everybody understand that? Okay? So it begins, like Sheikh Atlee would answer and tell these sisters, it begins when they're 6 years old. That's the foundation of the child's life. You have to establish wala wal bara. You have to establish allegiance to Allah, allegiance to the Prophet, allegiance to Islam in the heart of those kids when they're 6 in the formative years, so that when they turn puberty, they can implement bara, which is distancing. So, who bears the responsibility of protecting the fitra of the children? It's the parents, both parents. You brothers have to do your job and be providers, maintainers, and protectors, so that your wives can do their job and stay home and protect your property and their property and nurture those children. Does everybody understand that? Whenever this responsibility is neglected, that's when we end up with what we have today, the high apostasy rate. And that's what this hadith meant when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no child is born who is not born upon the fitra, believing in Allah. But it's his parents that make him a Jew or a Christian or an atheist. Why? Because it's the parents that either nourish his soul or leave it to itself. Does everybody understand that hadith now? That's why I tell you guys, you're not a revert, you're a convert to this religion. The English word revert means to go back to your natural substance. For example, liquid. For a rock to go back to being liquid. You're not liquid. You're not going back to being a sperm drop. So don't call yourselves reverts. You are a convert. Convert, look it up. It means to take on a new way of life. A way of life different than how you were raised. That's the word. So you guys are converts. You're not a revert. You had to convert to this religion because your parents failed to nourish your fitra. And because your parents didn't nourish your fitra, you grew up not believing in Allah, not worshiping him the way Allah commanded. So now your fitra has been awakened. So now you convert. You take on a new ideology, a new lifestyle other than what you were raised upon. That's convert, not revert. You're not going back to a sperm drop. Everybody get that? The body came from the sperm drop. Your soul came from paradise and was put back in that womb, was put in that womb. Y'all get it? So the parents are entrusted with the duty of nurturing and preserving the fitra. They are the guardians over it. They're supposed to be the protectors of it, over it. They're supposed to let you know when you're 7 years old why we don't celebrate birthdays. When a child comes home and says, Umi, why come I can't have a birthday party? It's my birthday. It's the mother's responsibility to say, honey, the non-believers, they don't believe in Allah. They worship themselves. They're too stupid to recognize that they didn't create themselves, that they had nothing to do with coming into this world. Allah brought you in this world. Allah created you. You had nothing to do with being born. If Allah wanted to, he could have made you not be born. So what is there to worship? What is there to celebrate? You have to explain that to the children when they're young, like my parents did me. And then when puberty hits, it ain't no mystery. They would have no interest in birthdays. Like I've never had an interest, never had a birthday party, never understood why people do it. Never understood why people celebrate. I said, that's the most stupidest thing. You worshiping yourself. Okay? So it's your job as a parent, you know, to nourish the fitra with the truth. Okay? And Allah is going to hold us accountable for that as parents, especially you sisters. Allah is going to ask you why you didn't teach your children that we don't do birthdays. And, you know, why didn't you teach your daughters that they should cover their bodies out of modesty towards Allah? So parents play a crucial role in preserving, protecting our inner fitra. They play a crucial role in guiding the children on the path that'll take them back towards Allah. And that's where I'm going to stop for today, right here. And this is very important because I've had some of the new, not new, but some of the new, not new shahadas, but new practicing sisters have asked me, why is it, Sister Laila, that, you know, my greatest test is my children? You know, why is it that I can't stop my sons from messing with those drugs? Why is it that my daughter won't stop sneaking out the house at night? You know, Shaytaan couldn't get to you, so he's getting to your kids. Okay, maybe you didn't put the foundations in them when they were growing up. Maybe you didn't awaken their fitra. You didn't nourish it. So this is the price you got to pay. Or maybe you did nourish the fitra like I did mine. I nourished my daughter's fitra, but she still takes on her own way. You know, it's a test. Remember, Allah says in the Quran that our children do not belong to us. They are simply loans given to us by Allah as a means of testing us to see if we're going to choose them over him. Because my kids grew up on the fitra, and it was nourished a whole lot. But it's a test now. All right. So, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or any comments? I know you guys are celebrating your Eid, so I'm not going to keep you long. Also, I want to remind you guys that Mukhtar will be doing his class in 30 minutes. Mukhtar will be doing his class, the life of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then I'm going to have another class tonight at 9, my class on brotherhood. Yes, I tell you guys, even on the day of the Eid, I never take a day off. Even on the day of the Eid. Yeah, the people still have to learn. They have to still be reminded of Allah. All right, so I'm going to log out. I'll be back in 20 minutes, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.